Welcome, adventure seekers, to the D23 Fantastic World celebration. We're so glad you've come along for the ride. At D23, the official Disney fan club, we celebrate all the worlds of Disney, Pixar, Star Wars, and Marvel with VIP experiences, special offers, exclusive content, and more all year round. Now buckle up and be sure to stay tuned for a special membership offer from D23. Now please enjoy the Fantasia Legacy, a conversation with Eric Goldberg.
Hi, I'm Eric Goldberg from the Walt Disney Animation Studios, and I'm happy to be here with D23, the official Disney fan club, to celebrate the fantastic worlds of Disney with a look back at two classic animated films, Fantasia and Fantasia 2000. I have two great memories of Fantasia when I was growing up and when I was a young man. The first time I saw it in a movie theater was fantastic. It wasn't a great print. It was the 70s. But I sat in the front row and just watched all this lava flow all over me and all these great special effects. And I just thought it was a wonderful, wonderful movie. I had seen pieces of it on Wonderful World of Color, but never all in one go. Flash forward to 1977, and I'm out in California with some friends. It was the same summer Star Wars was released, and they ran the best print I have ever seen of Fantasia at the Cinerama Dome. And that was wonderful for a lot of reasons. First of all, it was packed. It was late evening and it was packed, and everyone was just caught up in this wonderful non-narrative film, and no one budged an inch. And one of the other special things about it is that they had some form of Fantasound installed at the theater. So unlike you would normally hear stereo, blended so it kind of surrounds the entire screen, the way they had engineered Fantasound was so that certain sounds, certain music came out of certain speakers to augment the animation. So, for example, in Dance of the Hours, when Ben Alligator is chasing Hyacinth Hippo around the column, the music is going dun 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 dun. Rather than just being a good mix of the music, it was actually following the animation. And I've never seen another print like that. The original Fantasia was instrumental to me when I was getting my feet wet in animation. Very inspirational, and probably mainly because of its absolutely perfect synchronization of animation and music. That is not an easy thing to do. And over the years, I've learned how to do it, but they did it so expertly well that it always influenced me. I was actually mentored by Art Babbitt, the great animator who in Fantasia did the Thistle Dance, Zeus in the Pastoral Symphony, and I got to work with the guy and know him pretty well, and it was great to be able to ask him stories and things like that. And, what's so bad about learning from a legend? There are certain sequences in Fantasia that I absolutely love. Top of the list would probably be Sorcerer's Apprentice. One of the very best vehicles ever for Mickey Mouse. Dance of the Hours has always been a favorite. And in fact, I knew the creator of Dance of the Hours, that's another person I worked with, was Joe Grant. I used to take him to lunch every week. And, he and Tee created Dance of the Hours. I love the Thistle Dance. Subsequently, after seeing Fantasia, I would go see a production live of the Nutcracker Suite, and I would always be disappointed because humans can never jump as high or as spectacularly as Art Babbitt's thistles. They just don't hold up. And of course, I love Pastoral Symphony. And I can't not mention Night on Bald Mountain with Bill Teitla's amazing Chernobog animation. When Fantasia first came out, it was not a success. First of all, they had mounted their Fantasound program to travel to different theaters, but it was very costly and it took a long time to set it up. And for some reason, it just didn't hook with the public back then in 1940. But it has been brought back into prominence primarily during the psychedelic era. You know, people of the era would go see Fantasia, and all the imagery and movement to the music, they were into it. I think Fantasia pushed boundaries on all levels. First of all, artistically, you know, they had a different art style for each sequence in the film. Capturing an art style like the one in Night on Bald Mountain by the Dutch illustrator Kai Nielsen was amazing. There's times I've seen some of his concept art and I would swear it was a still from the film. And it's not just the character, it's the way the smoke is animated. Everything is coming from that particular design for that sequence. Also, I love the effects in Rite of Spring. Some of them are just ingenious and absolutely beautiful. Want to know how they did the smoke coming out of the volcanoes? They're shooting high contrast black and white film, and they have a black background and a water tank in front of it, and they pour white paint into the water tank and it spreads out, and they shoot it so that it's in slow motion. Then they flip it upside down and then make the black parts white and the white parts black, and you've got black smoke coming out of the volcanoes. I mean, it's astonishing the things that they created to make this film work. One thing you might not realize is that the original Fantasia was intended to be a piece in constant development. Walt had the idea that he wanted to keep updating sequences and trading out other sequences, and it was going to be a moving piece of art for decades. Well, the war happened and other things happened, and Walt never got a chance to realize his dream. But his nephew Roy, 60 years later, did realize it, and he knew that that's what Walt had wanted to do. So we finally got the chance to do updated versions for Fantasia 2000. I got involved with Fantasia 2000 because the producer Don Ernst and our supervising director Hendel Butoy wanted me to do the Carnival of the Animals sequence. They were looking for somebody who could animate the entire sequence by himself, a one-man animation. And they picked me, and I'm glad they picked me. And at the same time, I also pushed for Rhapsody in Blue to be included. But at the time, both Roy Disney and Don Ernst said, no, the music's too modern to be included in Fantasia 2000. In fact, it wasn't even called Fantasia 2000 yet. It was called Fantasia Continued. So we kind of put Rhapsody in Blue on the shelf, and we did Carnival of the Animals. Settling on the sequences and songs to be in Fantasia 2000 was a tricky process. It was kind of sticky, and we had several screenings in order to see what worked. And the first screenings we had were kind of a combination of the original Fantasia and the new pieces that we were making. And they didn't cut together. And at the time, the studio had given me and my wife Susan permission to go ahead and make Rhapsody in Blue as a standalone short. So that was happening on a parallel track. So after this disastrous screening, where we have both original and new segments that don't cut together, lights come up and Roy Disney turns around and looks at me and he says, "So Eric, is Rhapsody in Blue going to be ready in time for Fantasia 2000? And I said, yes, it is. It's on a parallel track. And that's how it got in the movie. I think you can do anything in any style. That was certainly my training at Richard Williams in London. We would animate anything. Usually it was for the sake of a commercial, but we would animate things that looked like woodcuts, animate things that looked like Ronald Searle drawings. And so I consider Fantasia 2000 continuing in that vein of animated watercolors, animating Hirschfeld drawings, and I think people like what we managed to produce here. Working with my wife, Susan, as art director on our two pieces, Carnival of the Animals and Rhapsody in Blue, was fantastic. I love working with her whenever I can. And one thing that makes it work is that we each respect the other's skill sets. She took her art direction very seriously, and we managed to do certain things that really worked. You know, on Carnival of the Animals, she had everybody do animated watercolors. Every flamingo in Carnival of the Animals is a separate watercolor, and all the backgrounds are watercolors. And it wasn't just that it was animated watercolors. She's doing a color tennis match between our hero flamingo with the yo-yo and the snotty 6 flamingos. So if you watch the skies, when our hero flamingo is on his own and enjoying himself or in control of the frame, the sky is a cool green. When the snotty 6 are in control, the sky is a kind of angry yellow-orange. And we played that back and forth throughout the entire sequence. On Rhapsody in Blue, Susan chose a palette that was almost entirely inflected by blue. Even the things that you think are bright, like a red or a yellow, they all have a hint of blue in them. And we even got away without using particular flesh tones on the human characters. They were blue and purple, you know, because purple has a little bit of red in it. That kind of makes you think that it might be a flesh tone in an all blue palette. And so we were experimenting, and I have to say, she was experimenting, and we were all thrilled with the results. For Rhapsody in Blue, everything had to look like a Hirschfeld drawing. And, you know, so wonderful that we actually got to work with Al Hirschfeld, and he would look at the work and go, "This is first rate." And, you know, that makes you feel great. He gave us great notes, and he was very proud of the final film. And he would look at our artwork, our model sheets, and give us a thumbs up. He would make little doodles for us to follow. And we went to New York to visit Al and his wife, Louise. And we were showing him an almost done version of Rhapsody in Blue. And both he and Louise loved it. And Louise pulled us aside and said, "Al's gonna be 96 next week. This is the best birthday present he ever could have gotten." There are a lot of things I am proud of in Fantasia 2000. First of all, being able to work with Roy Disney. He was really our ally, our mentor. You know, he was the guy we were making this for. And you know, he was fantastic to work with. I'm proud of the way Carnival of the Animals turned out, Rhapsody in Blue, my wife Susan's art direction, proud of working with Al Hirschfeld directly, and the year it came out, Susan and I got double Annie Awards. She got the Annie Award for production design, and I got the Annie Award for character animation. She for Rhapsody in Blue, and me for Carnival of the Animals. So lots of things make me proud about this film. And so thanks for joining me, and I hope you celebrate 80 years of Fantasia and 20 years of Fantasia 2000, two exceptional films now streaming on Disney+. And stay tuned for more explorations of the fantastic worlds of Disney all week long. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for joining us for D23's Fantastic World Celebration. Keep the fun going all year round with a D23 Gold membership. Take your love of all things Disney to the next level with exclusive Gold member benefits like our quarterly publication and annual Gold member gift. And for a limited time, get a complimentary D23 Fantastic Worlds pin set when you buy a new Gold or Gold Family membership. And we have even more in store for you with our D23 Season of Magic. Check back on D23.com where we'll be celebrating the joy of the holidays and those Disney traditions that connect us all. For more information on D23, the official Disney fan club, and how to become a gold member, visit D23.com/join.